Ryne Sandberg was the best second baseman, winning 9 Golden Gloves awards and 11 All-Star awards. But behind these record-breaking performances, there was a side of him that could have destroyed all of his stardom. Today, we will find out what kind of a person Ryno truly was. Ryne Sandberg was born on September 18, 1959. He spent most of his childhood in Spokane, Washington. He started playing baseball at an early age in high school, but baseball was not the only thing he was good at. He was also an amazing player in football and basketball. He graduated from North Central High School in 1979 and was also named to the high school All-American football team. He was soon signed up at Washington State University, where he would outshine everyone. His performance in university led him to get drafted in MLB, and he got signed by the Philadelphia Phillies. But soon he would move to Chicago Cubs, where he would show his true skills. He played 16 seasons in Major League Ball, where he outshined everyone in fielding and batting as a second baseman. Sandberg was also a standout player in both All-Star and Gold Glove categories. His performances earned him 10 consecutive All-Star awards and 9 Gold Glove awards, showing his exceptional talent in hitting and fielding. He had a fielding percentage of .989 when he retired in 1997. He was the best second baseman of his time, which led him to win most Silver Slugger awards, solidifying his legacy in baseball. Even after retirement, he kept contributing to the game as a manager, showing his true love for baseball. He was one of the greatest players that baseball would ever witness. But behind all this fame, he was also a great prankster who would make everyone laugh. Today, we will find out what pranks he used to pull to make his teammates after a loss and some of the difficulties he had to face in his personal life. We have more stories about your favorite baseball player lined up for the coming weeks. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on that one. And let's start with the pranks of Ryne Sandberg.
Could swung on a long drive. Deep right center, way back. It might be out of here.
Sandberg was a highly composed, firm player in the field, but he was one of those guys whose pranks would go too far for his teammates. He was not just a great player, but he also had a funny side of him that very few people knew about. One of his favorite things was putting his teammates' stuff into the freezer. Anytime someone had a missing glove, they would look up in the freezer to find it. His former teammate, Phillies pitcher Shaw Bosky, revealed this was one of his favorite tricks to do. He would grab the shoes, gloves, and hats of his teammates and throw them up in the freezer. His teammates knew only Sandberg could do this type of thing, so they would look into the freezer to get their stuff back. His second favorite trick to do was the hot foot prank. He would grab socks, shoelaces, and shower slippers from his clubmates and put them on fire. And then he would watch and laugh as his teammates would dance around the fire trying to save their stuff. He also had a kind side and wanted to make everyone feel loved. Every newcomer would be scared when they would first come the Cubs. He would greet them with orange juice cartoons in their locker rooms. He never said anything about this side of him, but his actions revealed his kindness. He had been a rookie once and knew how terrible it was when senior players would bully him. He wanted to make it feel like home for new players. His teammate Doug DeScenso revealed that Ryne would call you up in the middle of the day if you were feeling low and would want to go to lunch to make you feel happy and loved. Sandberg was not a person who would stay quiet. His funny side would always pop up to amuse his teammates and friends. His former teammate revealed he was going through his regular training. When he saw Sandberg, he would throw alcohol on Dwight Smith's shoes and then lit it on fire. He would often hide himself behind boxes of pranks to stay away. He would pull pranks in his quiet and unique way, making it difficult for people to figure out who was doing these pranks. Another one of his targets was Shawan Dunston. Most of the time when the club had pin drop silence, just like you get in your school classes, there would be a loud grunt, followed by a muffled laugh, and then someone would suddenly scream. They all knew it was Ryno, but none of their efforts of finding him would yield anything. Everyone used to think Ryno was a quiet person, but Ryno replied that he was with veterans at that time. That's why he didn't used to say anything there. People only see numbers and stuff he did on the field, but don't get to see how good he was just off the field. His legacy is far beyond a teammate. He was a person who would offer genuine sport, both on and off the field. Ryne Sandberg also had an amazing personal life. He was only 19 when his high school sweetheart Cindy White married him in 1979. This relationship that seemed perfect to everyone would soon start to crack. As Ryan's career took off, his constant travel for games began to put pressure on their marriage. They soon became parents, which gave them the much-needed strength to hold them together. Everyone thought that Cindy loved Ryne with his heart. However, rumors started to appear that she had been sleeping with his teammates, Rafael Palmeiro and Dave Martinez. People questioned this a lot, but she denied it by saying they were just friends. Ryne tried his best to keep the marriage together, but Cindy filed for divorce in 1993. Both acted like mature couples to sort out their difference, but this time their marriage had been broken. Their revival didn't last long. In 1994, just days after Ryne's retirement, Cindy filed for divorce again. This time, she made it clear that their marriage was not getting saved. In the meantime, Ryne had lost his passion for baseball and didn't want to play it anymore, so he decided to step down. He wanted to give more time to his family and kids. His friends also said that he realized life is all about spending time with things that matter. As the proceeding for divorce started in court, Ryne wanted to take custody of the children to spend more time with them. But Cindy opposed him, saying he could meet his kids in her home. The divorce was finalized in 1996, and they both agreed to live in the same neighborhood to have joint custody of the kids. This hurt Ryne from the bottom of his heart. He wanted to spend more time with his kids, but his dreams were shattered. That's why he decided to return to his first love, baseball. Ryno was the player every young kid dreams of. Ryne started to play baseball when he was in high school. At a young age, he had found his passion, but baseball was not the only thing he was good at. He also used to be very good at basketball and football. His performance made him a standout player at his school. This led him to be finally recruited by Washington State University. He started to play football along with baseball there. One of the scouts saw his talent and decided to select him for the amateur draft. He was drafted in the 20th round of the 1978 draft, and in June that year, he signed his first professional contract, with Philadelphia Phillies receiving $24,000 as a bonus. This was just the beginning of his storied career. Despite his great track record in baseball, he was assigned to the Helena Phillies rookie team in Montana. He started in the rookie-level Pioneer League as a short spot. He met Bob Dernier in that team, with whom he would unite later to become the legendary daily double for Chicago Cubs. In his first rookie season, he would play 56 games with a batting average of 0.311 and steal 15 bases. In 1979, Ryne Sandberg was playing a match in South Carolina when he met his first wife, Cindy White. It was a challenging year for Sandberg, who struggled with his career but still managed a .247 batting average over 138 games. He hit 7 triples, 4 home runs, and stole 21 bases. Despite his struggles, Sandberg was promoted to AA reading in 1980. At the AA level, Sandberg's performance started to take off. He batted with an impressive .310 in 129 games, hitting 11 home runs and stealing an astonishing 73 bases. His standout performance earned him a spot on the Eastern League All-Star team. In 1981, he got promoted to AA Oklahoma City, where he continued to shine his glove and bat, hitting a batting average of 293 in 133 games. Philadelphia Phillies saw this performance from Sandberg, and he was selected to play in their main team. Ryno played his first MLB game for the Phillies in 1981. He didn't get to play many games in his debut season. He only played 13 games that season and got a batting average of 167. In 1981, the Chicago Cubs were sold out to a Tribune company. They hired Dallas Green from the Phillies to become the new manager for the Cubs.
There goes the runner, the bag.
Green had worked with Phillies players and insisted on bringing Ryne Sandberg to the Cubs. He faced the same issues with the Cubs as with the Phillies. He didn't get to play a lot of games there. It was the end of the 1982 spring season when he finally got to play as a third baseman. On April 13, 1982, he hit his first run for his Cubs. In most of his games in 1982, he played as a third baseman before moving on to second base. After playing 24 games there, he was finally allowed to play at the plate. That was when his true powers started to come out. In his first season, he had a batting average of 0.271, hitting 7 home runs and stealing 32 bases. That year, he ended up scoring 103 runs. This was just the start of his storied career. This amazing performance took him to the top rookie performers of the league. Though he was placed 6th there, people believed he would soon develop into a powerful hitter and great fielder. But still, with his amazing performance, his 1983 season wasn't good. The Cubs acquired Ron Cey, so Sandberg couldn't play at the plate. He was again moved to the second base. He played 157 games at second base. His performance led him to win the Rawlings Gold Glove Award for the second base. This was the first time the Cubs had won this award since 1970. In the 1984 season, Bob Dernier batted at the plate while Ryno batted as a second baseman. Together, they would thrash so many runs that this duo was called the legendary The Daily Double. Most of the time, Bob would get a score, but if he didn't, Ryno would be there to fill the gap. This iconic duo took their team to win the Eastern Division title in 1984. 1984 was the peak year for Ryno. During spring training of that season, coaches had started working on his swing to change him from a slap hitter to a power hitter. This would transform him into a 5-tool player. Sandberg hit a batting average of .314 that year, including 19 home runs, 19 triples, and 36 doubles. Despite his immense hitting power, he still managed to steal 32 bases. His performance earned him the league MVP in 1984 as well. In 1984, the Cubs were having a great season. They had been winning consistently and hadn't encountered strong opposition yet. They were used to winning when they faced their regional rivals, the St. Louis Cardinals. Those two teams were very well known for their performances and had many fans even from outside of their areas.
In a left center field and deep, this is a tie ball game.
It was on June 23, 1984, when the Cardinals took an early lead in the game of 7-1 after the finish of second innings. The Cubs were not going to give up easily. They started scoring runs while also stopping the Cardinals at the same time. In the ninth inning, they were still trailing with a 9-8 score. It was Ryno's turn to bat, and his opponent was the best pitcher at that time, Bruce Stutter. Stutter had taken the Cardinals out of many tough situations, but this time he was facing Sandberg, who was not scared to face him. Bruce swung his arm with all his power and threw the ball with all his might. He was pitching to get Sandberg out and seal the game. But what happened was what no one was expecting. Sandberg swung the bat with his immense power, and it hit the ball so hard that it flew out of the field. He had hit a home run and tied the game. Cardinal fans could not believe what had happened. The game went into extra innings, with the Cardinals refusing to surrender. In the 10th inning, they scored 2 runs, pushing the lead to 11-9. Cubs fans were again nervous. They thought they would lose the game, but what happened next was no one was expecting. Sandberg came to bat again. Stutter wanted redemption, but Sandberg wasn't going to let this game slip away from him. He came to bat composed and confident. Stutter used every bit of his energy left to get Sandberg out, but Sandberg swung his bat, and it hit the ball, and again it had flown out of the park. Commentators went crazy. Fans couldn't believe what they had seen from Ryno. Bobby Dernier was on the base, and he tied the game. No one could believe what was happening. The game went on to the 11th inning. The Cardinals could not score a run in their next innings, but the Cubs were determined to win. Dave Owen scored the single run of the match that led the Cubs to the glorious victory with a 12-11 score. This win took them to their first playoffs since 1945. His 1985 season didn't have a great start. His batting average fell to 192, but he started to gain momentum in April. He improved himself, and his batting average went to 0.257. He kept on his form, swiping sacks and stealing wins for his team. He ended the year with 26 home runs and stole his career-high 54 bases, 425, 429, plus 436, 441.
250 club. Line drive on a play.
A looper in the center. A great catch by Sandberg.
He was struggling to bat, and his power and speed started to fall in the 1986 season, but he began to improve his fielding to cover up his deficiencies. He won the Gold Glove Award and led that year with most assists for the second baseman. The following year, he suffered a critical injury. He sprained his ankle and had to miss a lot of games, but he made a strong comeback and scored 81 runs with a batting average of 0.294. He was still a great fielder, running behind each ball to save every run, which won him another Gold Glove Award. Cubs started to sign many young talents like Dawson, Greg Maddux, and Jamie Moyer to make a perfect team that everyone would fear. But despite many great players, Sandberg kept his form, scoring 77 runs in the 1988 season, and again won the Gold Glove for the 6th time in a row. He started to work on his swing and batting style, which led him to score 30 home runs in a single season. Though his batting average fell to 0.290, he still led his team to win another second division title in 6 years. His performance gained him an All-Star award, and he won another Gold Glove Award. The 1990 season began with great expectations from Sandberg. The Cubs suffered many injuries in that season, but Sandberg still kept on scoring and got 40 home runs in a single season. This was his 3rd highest home run score by a second baseman. His performance took his club to National League glory, and Sandberg added another Gold Glove Award to his collection. Sandberg kept on diving for balls to take impossible catches and kept on improving his fielding in 1991. That year, he had a fielding percentage of 0.995, where he only committed 4 errors. He scored 104 runs with his bat and won yet another Gold Glove Award. Sandberg was not stopping scoring runs, and in the 1992 season, he again hit 100 runs, tying the record with Hall of Famer Roger Horns for scoring the most 25-plus runs campaigns for a second baseman. But that year, he lost the Gold Glove Award race with Jose Lynn by a small margin of 0.02. But next season, he suffered a terrible injury. He was practicing with Mike Jackson, who threw an inside pitch. Ryno tried to play that, but that ball pinned his left hand against his bat and broke it. Ryno couldn't play for the majority of the season, but in the games he did play, he scored 67 runs and won his 9th All-Star Award. At the start of 1994, Ryno decided to retire this season. He had lost his love for this game and never found the motivation to come back. That season, he only scored 36 runs and took retirement on June 13, 1994. This move shocked everyone, as he still had $16 million left in his contract when he left baseball. Ryno wanted to spend more time with his kids, but following his retirement, his wife left him, and people started accusing him of AIDS. He left baseball because he had lost his desire to play baseball. With his wife and kids gone, he had no choice but to return to baseball at the start of 1996. But when he got back, Cubs management had changed and took it some title to settle. In his comeback season, he hit 85 runs at 36. He had started to lose his athletic ability because of his age, but still, the following season he scored 54 runs and had also been impressive with the bat. He surpassed Joe Morgan for most home runs by a second baseman. But Sandberg couldn't keep playing because of his age and had lost the desire for the game he once loved. So he decided to end it all in this season. His retirement was sad for everyone who loved baseball. The Tribune Company declared that in 1997 to be Ryne Sandberg Day 1. That was the day many fans were in tears because baseball had truly lost one of his greats, a loss people still remember to this day. I have more stories like this planned for upcoming videos. You definitely won't want to miss out when we reveal the secrets of your favorite player. So subscribe if you don't miss out when it gets uploaded. And what is your favorite memory about Ryne Sandberg?